I bet you're wondering why I've asked you all here. Just kidding. Well, here we are in Holland. I can't believe it. 2 days ago, I was in Los Angeles rehearsing with my band. By the way, I don't know if I've told you about my band. Have I told you about my band? I have? All those who have not heard about my band, please raise your hands. And if there's, oh, good, I'm going to tell you if there's one. I'll tell you again anyway. I got, you know, the first convention I ever went to was in Blackpool, England. Scared me to death. They said that I'd have a little chat with the audience, you know. I thought it would be in a room this size, but maybe with 30 to 60 people or so. And I walked out, and I thought there'd be a panel of actors. They said it was a panel. I thought that meant like a lot of people talking, you know. And I walked out on stage, and there was just me and 3,000 people. 3,000. I had never really spoken other than to high schools and things, to the public, before in my life. Oh, somebody I know, or is it just a forehead? Probably just a forehead, but blah. But I'm telling you, I walked out and I had no idea what to say. I don't know anything, you know, about the show. I know about me in the show and the episodes I've done. I don't know a lot about all the technical things. And they were asking all these questions about the new show, which I couldn't tell them. I was instructed not to tell them anything about that. So, I mean, this need started going, right? And then when that one wasn't enough, this one started going. I'm standing there like this, and I look behind me, and there was one of these screens 30 feet high with, you know, every pore of fear, you know, as big as my head, and it just scared me to death. So I learned to play the ukulele. And now when the questions dry up, I'm going to play the ukulele. And we're all going to be sorry. So those questions coming, I'm telling you. My name, what? And get the ukulele, believe me, you're going to hear it. There's no question. I don't leave anywhere without playing. But, Miss Vaughn Armstrong, thank you, Robert, for not being available. No. I don't know if you know, but I recently got Admiral Forrest, but I've done more different characters on the shows than anybody else. I've actually done 11 different characters on the various shows. Yeah. I hope to do 100 before I die. And I better hurry, because it took me 15 years to do 11. So I gotta pack them in there and hurry. I was, the first character I ever did was the first Klingon with a forehead on Next Generation other than Worf. I was his first story in a thing called Heart of Glory. I don't know if you remember, I played Chorus. I was trying to get him to pillage the universe with me, he wouldn't do it. So, once again, he killed me at the end, you know, dying. And then the next one, I don't think I did another one until the next Voyager. I played Telek Ramor in the Romulan in an episode, Eye of the Needle. Yeah, I was the scientist out there in the middle of nowhere. They went through this wormhole that they thought that we could all get out of. Boy, it's hot in here, isn't it? It's just me. Anyway, then I did a Cardassian in Deep Space, Gul Dinar. Then I did another one in Voyager. I was 2 of 9. 7's older brother. Much older. And there's some resemblance, though. It's in the hair, what's left of it. But, you know, I did Hirogen, Avidian, three Klingons, a bunch of Cardassians, blah, 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 and it all equals 11. And it was funny, because I walked into the Enterprise audition, really to audition for the role of Ambassador Saval. And Rick Berman says, oh, fine. How many have you done for us now? 4 or 5? And at that time I had done 8. You know, but he didn't realize it was all the same guy. Because he wasn't even at all the auditions, you know, and all he saw was the character on the stage, on the screen, and then you had 4.5 to 6.5 hours of makeup. And I told him it was 8. He's going, oh, that must be some kind of a record, which it was, by the way. I hadn't surpassed anybody else at 8. And they were very excited about that. So I got home and got the call, and they said, they were so enthusiastic. They said, you walked in the door and you were Admiral Forrest. And I'm going, great, 7 years, I hope. Because I got those kids in college, you know? 2 of them right now. Damn it. And I don't know what the tuition is here. Whoo! But in California, it is a bitch. I'm telling you, they're expensive. Got 2 of them at the same time. Fortunately, they got enough scholarships to pay for half themselves, you know, so that's a good thing. But, well, I guess I'll just tell you a little bit about how I got into acting and all of that, if you want to hear it. Have you already heard that? No? No? Who said yes? Get out. I was 16, and I was 16. I am 54. What does that mean? 38 years I have been acting. I'll be damned if you can call it that. It's a matter of opinion. I like to think I've been acting for 38 years, but I was kind of around. I grew up in a town often referred to as Felony Flats. Right? It's San Bernardino County, the birthplace of the Hells Angels. And I was kind of in the hub of culture, better known as Misdemeanor Meadows, a little town called Redlands. And everybody's goal was to be the toughest kid on the block, you know. So nobody would mess with you. You wanted everybody to think you were tougher than anybody, which got a lot of people into trouble. And in fact, I go back sometimes now to where I grew up, and everybody's either dead, or in jail, or recovering from some kind of a drug addiction. True. It's a kind of a difficult place. My brother's been in a mental institution for 30 years as a result of much what went on in those days, in the 60s, you know, among other things. But my mother saw that I was starting to hang with the wrong crowd, and she offered me $10 to get into a play. I got into the play, and there was this girl who was a year older than me, this senior playing opposite me. And I had to kiss her, which I had never done in front of anybody, you know. So I kissed this girl, and for the first time, she slipped me a tongue. For the first time. This is the first time any girl's tongue had ever touched, anybody's had ever touched mine before. And that was it. You know, I fell in love with acting suddenly. So I guess you could say money and women is why I got into acting. But, and this teacher really kind of saved my life. She saw a certain intensity in me, which she didn't realize was really OCD, an obsessive compulsive disorder. True, that's true. It would sometimes take me 20 minutes to get out a damn door. If I touched the door with this hand, I would have to touch it with this hand. If I breathed on this hand, I would have to breathe on this hand. If in the process of that, any saliva got on this hand, it would have to get on this hand. So by the end of me trying to get out a door, I'm going, you know, really doing a ceremony for a good 15, 20 minutes to get out the door. And the toughest part of that was, and you know what? There's a lot of people in this room, so I know I'm not the only one here. They used to think it was 1 in every 250 people. Then they thought it was 1 in every 75 people. Now they think it's 1 in every 40 people that has this obsessive compulsive disorder. And I'll bet you that everybody has a little tinge of this obsessive compulsive disorder. If you are enthusiastic and concentrate on everything, divorcing all else from your thoughts, I got a feeling you are a little bit obsessive compulsive. Maybe not the same kind of problems I had, but anybody says they're normal is bullshitting you somehow. Because there isn't a normal person in the world. Everybody's a little bit different some way, and that was the way that I was a little bit different. And this teacher saw this intensity in me without knowing it, and really kind of saved my life. She showed me a way to make dedication and responsibility every bit as much fun as getting into trouble and spitting on doorknobs. You know what I mean? She showed me how to really kind of transfer that energy into something else, and has really kind of given me a life. So I would say those 3 women, my mother, that teacher, and the girl with that tongue, saved my life. And that's all there is to it. Otherwise, I'd be one of those guys dead or in a mental institution, you know? So they gave me something to, as an outlet to sort of free myself from that. And yeah, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. So anyway, that was high school. Got out of high school, and I went to Hollywood to be a star. First, I forgot. I got a full scholarship at a high school contest to the Pasadena Playhouse, which at the time was a big famous deal. But my teachers talked me out of doing it. They thought I ought to go to a real school first that concentrated on academics. So I went for 1 semester to a junior college. Decided, the teachers tell me, you know, you ought to just go to Los Angeles now. Don't go to school, just go to get into it because you've got something, you know. So I did. I went to try to be a star in Los Angeles when I was 18 or 19. I moved to LA and doing my best to be a star. I got a job as a box boy and shipping clerk. Never had a single audition. Never saw a studio. And I hitchhiked with a friend, flew to New Hampshire with a friend and hitchhiked back to San Bernardino just to fool around for a while. Which, by the way, is one corner of the nation to the other corner of a very large nation. It took us 6 days, which is about what it takes to drive it, to hitchhike. Can't do that these days, you'll die. But I had a great time and saw that my lottery number was 50. In the draft, 50. So I said to myself, better get your ass in school right now. And I did. But it turned out that, are there kids here, by the way? Are there children in the room? Oh, there are? Oh, well, I better quit saying words like ass then. How old are you? 13. Oh, you've heard. You've heard it before. I bet, gotta be careful though. But, I then got drafted out of school. I got into school. I was going to a performing arts school. They skipped me a year and a half, and I was, because I had some experience, I was in then my 3rd year in that school after having been there only a year and a half, and they kept drafting me. So finally they said, well, I kept saying no. I'm not going. Vietnam's stupid. I'm not going. And they kept saying, yes, you are. I kept saying, no, I'm not. They kept saying, yes, you are. And finally they said, if you don't go, we're sending the police after you to take you to jail. I said, okay, I'll go. So I did. And I went to Vietnam, straight to Vietnam, did not pass go, did not collect $200, and went over in the infantry, the mechanized infantry. I was in the infantry for 5 months and got out of the infantry and got into entertainment, which is a lot better than shooting people. But since I had this experience as an actor, an entertainer, there weren't a whole lot of people who had been drafted who did, so I said, you know, maybe we can do something. Please let me build a theater for you. So I did. I built a little theater in Cam Ranh Bay, Vietnam, and ran the swimming pool and showed the movie at night, which, you know, was actually more dangerous than the first job that I'd had because we were right next to the wire. My little house, which they gave me then, was right next. I had a little house. Everybody, you know, in the infantry, I was living in a barracks where you had a lot of guys to save you if something went wrong. But I got into entertainment, suddenly I had this little house, which is right next to the wire. And when things blew up, they could come in right there, right then. And they blew up occasionally, you know. But still, I enjoyed it a whole lot better than going out looking for the bad guys. And then I got back to Colorado Springs in the Army, became again in the infantry, then became the non-commissioned officer in charge of the Fort Carson Little Theater. Then I got out of that. I went to Kansas to do a little theater before I went to Los Angeles again, just to take a vacation, because I knew LA was going to be a chore. So I met my wife there, of now 30 years. We have been together. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm still not sure it's going to work out. And you think I'm kidding? Who's been married 30 years here? Anybody? Nobody? Oh, God, I'm 20? Well, then you know what I'm talking about. Every day is, you got to reinvent it. Now we're doing this new thing. Really? I think there are two that I'll tell you about two. One was entitled, it was the first lead I ever had in a movie, and they asked me if I wanted to do it, and I thought, well, I'll give it a shot because maybe this will get rid of any inhibitions I have left, and we'll see. It's called Cinderella 2000. Does that ring a pornographic bell and all? But it wasn't. It was a softcore, TNA thing, musical. And I was Tom Prince. And the whole premise of this was that sex was illegal in the year 2000. It tells you when this took place, right? This was early 70s, and 2000 was way in the future. So sex at this time was illegal, and when somebody's number came up on the computer, guess who got to go give them their ration worth? Tom Prince was me, but it was all simulated thing, no frontal nudity and all of that, but I thought it would get rid of any inhibitions that I had. It solidified every single inhibitions I will ever have. I mean, I'm laying there rehearsing my dialogue with this lady, and somebody came up with some kind of wet sponge and started going, what the hell? So I said, I don't think this is for me. So I haven't done any more of those anymore. I mean, I'm not going to do any more of those. The worst was probably the Hirogen. It was not the longest, but they have makeup that comes down into the eye socket here and up into the lip. And you have, it's a prosthetic, and you have prosthetic gloves, you have this rubber armor, and you have rubber boots and rubber neck up covering the prosthetics, so there is no place to sweat.
Like a whole body condom.
Yeah, she says it's like a full body condom. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And I'm really the only place to sweat was out of my eyes and out of my mouth. So everybody thought I was a very unhappy idiot. and really, I'm just hot in there. But the longest one was actually the Cretassin, which was also in Enterprise, done 3 roles in Enterprise. And the Cretassin took 6.5 hours. And then the end of that first day, I got out of the chair. The end of the makeup in the first day, I get out of the chair and, I finally got my character all done because I use that makeup time to sort of get in and figure out what this person is. And there stands a producer, as sheepish as I have ever seen a producer. He says to me, Vaughn, I'm so sorry, we're running a little behind. We're not going to get to you today. 6.5 hours of makeup it took to get that on, and then 2.5 to get it off. So I got overtime without ever having stepped on the set. I love this business. I love it. They thought the Borg would be the worst, but the Borg ain't so bad. They think it's bad because Jerry Ryan faints in her Borg outfit. So they think everybody's going to faint in their outfit, and they keep getting you out of it in between each scene so that you're going to be all right, and that's great because that makes for really nice overtime. I made 3 times what I thought I was supposed to make for that week, so I really like the Borg. I like the Borg. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. You're in the same costume everybody else wears. Now, wait a minute. Yeah. We can see from here that you are certainly not a sir. Yes.
What did your wife first think of your acting, and what's her opinion right now?
She says, what does my wife first think of my acting, and what's her opinion right now? It changes from moment to moment. Well, we met as actors. She and I both were actors. She's now a 3rd grade teacher, which I appreciate. Like, I can't tell you. She wakes up at 5:30 every morning and starts working. She gets there at 7. She stays until 5 or 6 and then comes home and corrects all those papers and then does it again the next day, She's the hero. She's the one that ought to be standing up here telling you guys war stories because, she's dealing with those kids every day. But I get to do it. She has always appreciated the craft. She likes it when I'm working, and she likes it when I'm not working, because then I get to do things around the house. I'm sort of her slave. I have rebuilt my entire house. It was a house built in 1922. I ripped the kitchen out, and I put in new cabinets, and ripped out the wall between the living room and you don't want to hear all this. So I have never been a musician. Now, see what I'm talking about? But like I told you, I learned how to play this thing for the conventions, and I'm having so much fun with this. I have wanted a band in my garage since I was 16 years old, and I'm 54. I finally got one. So now, really, I have learned everything that I know about music from a book entitled "Teach Yourself to Play the Ukulele," which I highly recommend. These things are so easy to play. There's only 4 strings. A dog's fleas bite. Feel how a dog's fleas are still biting here. And I understand Mark and I are going to do a couple of songs here later. Yeah, dog's fleas bite. We're doing the new ones. I've got 2 new ones that are not on my CD. I have a CD, by the way, of me and the ukulele and the harmonica. Oh yeah, I brought a bunch of them. That's pretty close, isn't it? Yeah, that's close enough. Okay, now. Oh, there's candy here. Is that for me? I'll wait till after. Okay. That's a C, right? C. Now, is that? Now, could you? Who's young? Can you see that?
Oh.
That's a C. Oh shoot. And that must be. Oh, thank you. That's a D. All right, I'm coming. Hang on a minute. I should be better prepared. Okay, now wait a minute. I'm coming. Hold on, I'm coming. Hold on. Hold on. Now, I stole this music, by the way, from the book which taught me everything I know about music, entitled "Teach Yourself to Play the Ukulele." This is the first song I ever wrote. I fooled around with it, so it's not really theft. It's just minor plagiarism. But I don't know. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta put this ring over here because this is my father's high school graduation ring. It used to be on his bigger finger until he got older. You can hear that? Okay. This is entitled "The Enterprise Blues." And my band, by the way, is called the Enterprise Blues Band. How's this go? Okay. I got the Enterprise Blues, blue as I can be. You took off into space, and you took off without me. Come on, give me a forehead, put me back on TV. Well, I can be a creature that you need on your show. Yeah, I can be a Klingon like nobody that you know. Come on, give me a forehead and a prize don't go. Well, Vulcan woman, with that thing you wear, you think your pointy ears can't get you anywhere. Well, that just could happen. Let's wait and see. Maybe you can get the captain to bring the Enterprise to me. I got the Enterprise blue as I can be. You took off into space and you took off without me. Come on, give me a forehead, put me back on TV. Cardassian need a neck. What the heck, I'm wearing Klingon shoes. You give me the blues, I love the heritage and hunt. My board can be blunt, got bitty and flesh. I'm such a mess, I've got the blues. Well now, the Admiral, maybe I got some clout. At least I'm hoping they don't throw me out. If they do, I'm gonna shout, I got the blues. I got the Enterprise blue as I can be. You took off into space and you took off without me. Come on, give me your forehead and put me back on. Don't take me off, but put me on. Put my face back in the right place and yours too, me and you. Put me back on. Team me.
Give a break now. Okay. That's great.
Give a big hand to Mr. Vaughn Armstrong, please. We want to do so much more for you, but we haven't got the time, so maybe later.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Excellent.
I wish you'd come assimilate me. Why? Come sit and light my fire. Then there's that boat. She don't seem smart. Once you get to know her, she can't beat. I'd love to sit in that sauna, have her rub my feet. Got a Star Trek woman Jones. Woman Jones. I'll turn away to my arms. They're on empty arms. Got a woman Jones. You ought to try it too. It's gonna keep you from a big blue. Got that red woman Jones. I don't care what you say. I'm gonna watch it anyway. Got that red woman Jones. I'll thrill me till my bones are on every
Darius was made some photo
Yes. Well, Taurus is half Klingon. She plays kind of rough. You know what? I don't think she's so tough. I like to show her I got the right stuff. Got a Star Trek woman Jones. And James Bond. She's also a girl. Love it when she lets down that curl. I love the sight of breathing her hair. Captain James, you can leave me anywhere. Guys, I'll thrill to my bones. Throw everything she owns. You ought to give it a try. Gonna make you sigh. Got a Star Trek woman Jones. Whoa, I gotta go. I don't wanna miss my show. Got a Star Trek woman Jones. Star Trek woman Jones. I'll tell me my mom. They're on everything we got. Got a Star Trek woman. Star Trek woman. Star Trek woman Jones.
Oh, great.
As the Millennium economy goes, so the convention goes.
Oh, you got people have less money, they spend less.
Yes. And it's just, it's
Oh, that's
amazing
good.
that the IRS keeps on
Oh, that's
so
really
many
wonderful.
other people that they could be.
Did they catch you on a
See?
little mistake or something?
He blended into the sky.
And it wasn't my mistake, it was my accountant's mistake. And then she,
Right, exactly.
she
Right
wouldn't,
out.
yeah, it doesn't matter. She wouldn't go in with me, so I had to pay
That's
attention.
like a big whale.
And then
I told you,
the
just like a big
second
whale.
year, I had this accountant, and he was basically fighting the IRS guy. And then the IRS guy, he was supposed to be able to present evidence so that I would get out of this. And what it was as you can see, is that I have 3,000 CDs in my garage, and those are considered
He's got a little voice too.
disposable, not disposable. They're considered
These are your homes?
Yeah, these are mine.
terms.
We were talking at the dinner
that
table.
there's something you have left over after you spend all the money manufacturing.
Me with him.
Those
That was this
Where the
summer.
price of it goes down.
This was around Christmas last year.
But you know what I'm talking about.
It's a yearly
Yeah.
demonstrating
Yes.
of the price of
Exactly. What they're saying is that
Yeah, they all look it. They're not real.
and I'm like, what do you mean I can't do that? I got
They are.
loans, you know, for almost $20,000 to manufacture the CD. You know, I still have CDs left. So they are
losing their value.